Humans are cruel and callous. They have carved paths of destruction along the fabric of their history. They have erased entire species and civilizations from their own planet and the galaxy at large. They are dangerous and impulsive. They give too easily into their baser instincts that tell them to hate and scorn and kill. And they know it well. Countless are the times I have heard members of their species lamenting the things they have done or the thoughts in their own heads. How many days, monuments and buildings are dedicated to never forgetting a tragedy brought upon them by their own kind? And how often have I heard them paradoxically speaking of the human race with equal parts pride and utter disdain? Yet I cannot think of a race I admire more. Not because of their military prowess or power, which are certainly impressive. Not because of their economic might and savvy, which has earned them great wealth. No, it is because of their faults. It is because I have never seen a race so deeply affected by their own failures that they embedded them into their collective psyche so that they never forget what they have done. It goes beyond simply marking a date in history and leaving it for those who come next to find it in their own time. Because it would be too easy to focus on their incredible successes and achievements, to let it blind them to their darker natures. So instead they carry it with them, each individual wrong and slight committed by them and theirs. Because if they forget, they'll do it again. And that drives them. It drives them to greatness. It drives them forward. But most importantly, it drives them beyond themselves. How many times have I seen a human break down and openly weep for the suffering of others? Not just other sapient species, but creatures great and small as well. How many times have I seen them put themselves in danger of being directly harmed by those they desire to help? How many times have they been harmed and continued on anyway, because it was simply the right thing to do, or blame themselves for failing in their efforts, even though the situation was never their responsibility to begin with? I have watched as the human race turned its creative, borderline illogical methods towards the assistance of others, to help in ways the rest of us could have possibly imagined. I have seen them bend and break what I consider to be immaculate laws of our universe as side effects of their efforts to help others. I have watched them turn technologies of war and destruction to the purposes of peace and prosperity. And I have witnessed them fail in these endeavors over and over, and treat seemingly insurmountable wars as mere stumbling blocks on the road to success, marching forward even as they shout and scream in frustration, because they refuse to let it beat them. They fail, until finally they succeed. And though there are spontaneous exclamations of surprise and relief when a feat is finally accomplished, it is always the humans who recover the fastest, because, deep down, they always knew they would win. They would use each and every failure to build themselves a path to victory. So while we let ourselves be consumed with the impossibility of the success, they turn their attention to the next impossible task. They persevere, even when the rest of us would have long since given up, because they treat failure as an adversary that will never truly be defeated, and a companion that pushes them beyond their limits. It is their enemy, their friend. Perfection exists in the human vocabulary, but it is a word that will never describe them, and one they would be offended to have attributed to them. They are their failures. Every bloody, painful step upon their road thus far has been taken bearing the ever-increasing load of failures on their backs, and yet they press on. Their pace may slow at times, but their progress is inevitable, because they have abandoned the thought of perfection. Perfection means there is an end, a point at which there can be nothing better, and humanity has rejected that assessment. No matter how much they improve themselves, there is always room to be better. Not stronger, not superior, better. I have seen them reach the absolute pinnacle of understanding in areas of science, only to turn around and try to forcefully break their own conclusions because they don't believe the answer is that simple, even if that answer is the result of infinitely complex work. And I cannot count the times they have proven themselves right and gleefully gone back to the drawing board because the new piece of knowledge they obtained has rendered their previous work moot. Never have I seen a race more eager to prove themselves wrong to themselves and gloat about it when they do. How many cries of celebration have I heard upon the discovery of something that has rendered a life's work irrelevant? Not because they enjoy suffering or because they take some kind of pleasure in turning years of work into wasted effort, but because it means there's more to know, more to learn, more to it all. I pray there never comes a day when humanity finally decides that it is satisfied with itself, that they continue to defy all logic and reason, and look beyond the bounds of reality, and possibly to the things beyond their understanding. Because the day that happens will be the day when the greatest example of what failure can lead to will crumble and fall. But I suspect I have no cause to fear, for the failures of mankind never drive them endlessly onward. Yes, I think instead, it will only grow larger and impressive in its magnitude. This glorious monument to failure, and what it can achieve. This race, called humanity.